Brian Williams has a message for you, America.
Last thing before we go tonight, as you watch the following clip, please remember Americans are now dying at the rate of 1 per minute. Please remember we've lost over 270,000 of our brothers and sisters, people who were here with us when the year began, people who will not see another New Year's Eve. Here now, a moment of clarity and awareness that took place on live TV, on the president's favorite morning show, Fox and Friends, and this happened this morning.
Ultimately, right now, what's going on with the pandemic is, and we don't know exactly how many people may have been infected over the Thanksgiving holiday weekend, but the number of cases in our hospitals is going through the roof. In 41 states, it's going up. I read a great survey, and they looked at the scientific data in my home state of Kansas. In the month of July, they had a statewide mandate for masks. Now, the problem with Kansas was some counties would actually enforce it and other counties would not. In the counties that enforced the mask mandate, the number of cases of coronavirus actually went way down. And in the counties where they did not enforce the mask mandate, it went way up.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn. Who could have seen that coming? What a shock this is. That these precautions that we've been talking about for 9 months now? 10 months? Would actually have this kind of impact. It's only when it starts hitting home in these rural states that Fox and Friends actually goes, well, some of this information out there, it seems like there's actually good indication that an airborne virus that is, propelled via drops of moisture might be stopped by masks. Who'd have thunk?
Yeah.
You just have to do it smartly and do it safely.
It means, apparently, masks work.
Apparently, masks work. A breathtaking moment of situational awareness on live television this morning. 10 months, 270,000 lives into this. And this is important. In the rush to a vaccine, in our rush to get life back to normal, to have a spring and summer in 2021 that feel like spring and summer, it's important we never forget who the deniers were. Because those 270,000 mothers and fathers, sisters and brothers, husbands and wives, they ain't coming back. So it's incumbent upon all of us to honor their memory. That is our broadcast for this Tuesday evening, along with our thanks for joining us on behalf of all my colleagues at the networks of NBC News. Good night.
It's just incredible to me, guys. Oop, that wasn't that wrong button. There we go. It's incredible to me. We've been talking about this virus nonstop. And we've had people saying, "Oh, masks don't work. They no scientific evidence that masks work." Guys, we've known that masks work for airborne diseases since the fucking Dark Ages. When the Black Death swept through Europe, you know what they did? They wore fucking masks. Now, those masks were to help it smell nice, but it also helped protect them from the airborne illness or from being infected by some of these things. Now, granted, the Black Death was spread by fleas and such, but you guys get the picture. Masks have been a component of stopping disease for a very, very long time. We had the technology, we had the means at our disposal, we just chose not to use them. And when I say we, I mean the Republican Party chose not to use them. Don't you love it when your leader goes on TV and repeats QAnon theories? Yeah, right? Gosh. Like, our president had the War Powers Act. He signed it. He just didn't do anything with it. We could have been manufacturing all of these things far sooner. We could have had a coordinated federal response. People are like, oh, blame it on the states because individual governors should have been better at blah, blah, blah. No. We should have had a federal response. There's a reason we have a federal government, and it's to handle nationwide disasters like this. If the United States were invaded by Canada and Canada invaded Maine, would we say, oh, it's Maine's governor's problem to stop the invasion? No, we would have a federal response to such an action. Now we have over a quarter of a million people dead. Why? Because instead of taking responsibility, the party of personal responsibility bunted their entire responsibilities to the states, and the states are not equipped to deal with these problems. That's why we had federal pandemic response plans that the Trump administration scrapped. Like, guys, I think at this point it's pretty safe to say that literally anyone else would have been better than Trump in this situation. I don't think any other like governor or any other presidential candidate would have kicked out the pandemic response plan. I don't think any of them would have. There's no reason to, unless you just hate Obama so much that you want it out. And the reality is here, guys, that even if it was Hillary Clinton, and you guys know, I don't like Hillary Clinton. If it was Hillary Clinton, if it was fucking Jeb Bush, they would have done a better job. They would have stuck to the plan. They would not have politicized this kind of pandemic. But we live in crazy times where a large chunk of the Republican Party has essentially become a cult. And like, we've talked a bit about cults on here. We've talked about QAnon. We've talked about the Nexium cult a little bit. Talked about Eckankar. But when I say that the Republicans are a cult, I mean it. They're willing to just throw their grandparents in the wood chipper. Heck, there are some grandparents out there that are willing to throw themselves into the wood chipper on like the faith that they might like be improving the economy.